The following presentation is for mature audiences only.
Who are you?
He's a fine man.
All hell is broken loose.
He's a great broadcaster.
He's a very powerful guy. Absolutely brilliant.
Feared by men, adored by women.
He's a smart boy.
It's patriotic.
It's no big deal.
It's the end of the world.
I might as well tell you now. He's a monkey.
And how you doing, ladies and germs and bald-headed worms? Welcome in to another edition of The Wild Side with Eric Clark. I am Eric Clark, your host, saying thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give my video a watch and a listen. If you like it, like it. If you think other people are going to dig it, give it a share. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel and you're following me on all of the social media platforms linked below. That way, if there's a song, a band, a video, something you want me to check out, you can hit me up with a DM or leave it in the comments below. I do have a couple of rules, though. If you are going to hit me up with DMs or comments, please no spamming. And if you are going to leave it in the comments below, just give it a cursory read-through. If you see yours has already been suggested, just leave a like and an I concur. That helps my DJ brain put everything into a nice little organized list and get it into the handy-dandy notebook. And thank you to everybody for playing the I concur game. I'm seeing it on other channels. I'm seeing it more often here. And I'm even seeing it on my social media with just normal posts, with just regular day-to-day posts. And to be fair, to give you a warning, if you follow me on social media, I'm kind of, I'm not quiet, but it's either videos like this or I'm just posting jokes or something like that. So it's a light follow, man. Nothing too heavy. So make sure you are following me on the social media. Just keep the spamming down to a minimum. I got stuff going on. It's been a busy couple of weeks, not just at work, but it's also back to school time. And out of all of the things you have to do to get prepared to go back to school, the hardest thing to get a 14-year-old to do is get back onto a normal sleep schedule after spending 2 months video gaming pretty much 20 hours a day and then going out and shooting a BB gun. So it's been a difficult couple of weeks to try to get him back onto a regular schedule, but we're back in school, so that means I'll be cranking out these videos more often. Things have subsided a little bit at work, so I'm able to do that, do this more often as well. And again, if you need voice work done by a professional with professional editing and done correctly that knows how to pronounce things and doesn't say the word anyways, hit me up with a DM or an email and we can chat about rates and work if you need some voice work done. I'm real cheap, and I turn things around. I'm cheap and fast. My dad raised me right. So again, thank you to everybody for your suggestions, your patience, and your understanding, and even checking on me. That's pretty cool. So I dig that as well. Before we get started, thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music to See, and Gothic Jewelry. Click the link, enter the code, and get your bling. Today, I am taking a suggestion from Facebook. A lot of people have been hitting me up on Facebook and Twitter about more Nightwish. They want to see me react to more Nightwish. So I asked if I'm going to do certain songs, which versions I'm going to get it wrong. I know I'm going to pick the wrong version anyway, as I did with Greatest Show on Earth. So today we're going back onto the list, and we're doing a track from the Imaginarium album, which I believe was Annette Olsen, but then Floor took over, I believe, on that tour, if I'm not mistaken. Again, fill me in with all the history down below. So I reached out on Facebook, just being polite, which version of I Want My Tears Back should I check out? And it is overwhelming that I check out the Buenos Aires. I'm not that guy. I'm not that American who thinks I need to put an accent on words that aren't of my language. So I'm not that guy that's going to be, Buenos Aires. I'm not that guy. It's Buenos Aires. It's quesadilla. Okay, I'm just, I find that obnoxious when American, very American, especially I see it in cooking shows, where very American people start to put the local accent on just certain words and not the entirety of it. Like, that's not their accent. But when they say mozzarella, they go mozzarella. It's mozzarella, dude. Just be proud. I have no problem with being a dumb American. I have no issues with that. So today we're going to check out the live version of I Want My Tears Back, live from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Here we go. Let's check it out. Just domination, man, right from the get-go. Now, to be fair, I did do a little research, and from what I understand on this DVD, this track is about midway through the show. I know they closed the show with Greatest Show into Ghost Love Score, and I think that this is right before Amaranth, so it's like midway through the show. So they're nice and lathered at this point, and so is the crowd. Great energy. So I was told by somebody on social media that a Nightwish concert was happening and a football crowd broke out. So I love chanting. That's one of my draws to English Premier League. I love the songs and I love singing really embarrassing stuff about people. So great vibe. Somebody let me know down below what they're chanting.
But we got a whole song with it.
Yeah. You want to hear a song? It's coming.
We bought a ticket. Oh, there they are. Yeah, very well done. Great song, great energy.
We were dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole venue was dancing. What a sight, what an energy. Thank you.
It's a tango
maintaining
country.
that control, maintaining that stage presence and control while also expressing such gratitude and humility all within. And that's what Floor Jansen really has impressed me with, as far as not taking the lead, but her ability to go out on that stage and maintain a grace and a dignity in metal while also commanding complete and total control of the moment. So Nightwish, I Want My Tears Back, live from 2019 in Buenos Aires from the Decades DVD. And again, I believe this was about midway through the show. So everybody's energy levels were really high. Everybody was ready to kick off. And that is a great example of the energy shared between artist and audience right there. I really was impressed by that. And I do like that beginning where they're doing the chanting, the ole ole, and somebody had pointed out, yeah, it's a Nightwish concert and a football match broke out. So it's one of the things I loved that really drew me in to the international football vibe world, and it started with the English Premier League. It's something that I really wish would happen here. The interaction with American audiences and their sports teams or their artists is very, very muted when compared with other nations. So you're talking about a South American country who I believe have won World Cup, so they're very animated to begin with. They're very into music. The culture itself is all about dancing and having a great time. So that was a really good display of the energy that can be brought and met in a live performance. So you've got this really high energy level from the audience just simmering there. And they can feel it. She even said it as much. They can feel that energy, that vibration, that intensity coming from that crowd, and they came out there and they matched it. So let me try to do the Holy Trinity here and talk about how I see things. So the relationship between the band and the crowd is obviously on point because, again, this is 2019. I don't think Floor Jansen has ever been accused of being a shrinking violet, so it's not like she's not capable of coming out and commanding that control the way that she does, but to do so and then deliver. Because, again, you can talk all the smack you want and you can come off any way you want, but when you're performing live, you really got to bring the heat. And, again, she does this really cool thing that not a lot of, especially metal vocalists, can do, which is control the danger zone. And I know that this song was written when Annette Olsen was the lead singer of the band, so I doubt that this is a stretch for her to sing. But I don't think any Tuomas Holopainen song lyrically is ever going to be easy to sing. I don't really think that anyone has ever picked up a lyric sheet that Tuomas has written and gone, one take, bro. I got this. No, it's I have to get a certain meter in my head because, Tuomas Holopainen is Shakespearean in that he is writing his own meter, not just musically, but lyrically. He's writing a specific meter. So when he's writing these lyrics, these very complicated, very intricate lyrics, as he's done in other songs, he does so in a specific meter, and he's doing it here. And so when she comes out and starts to make those changes from the symphonic vibe to the modern rock, or what I call the active rock side, or the modern sound, the mainstream sound, when going in between those two, there's never a fall with Floor's vocals. She's always solid right through the onsets. It's called the onset, but I say it's the ramp ups and drop offs. A lot of times, especially live, singers will ramp into their lyrics or drop off and trail off at the end of their verses and choruses. And I've never heard her do that. So she maintains this nice, thick, rich, beautiful color and spectrum through the entire song, and she's able to change colors vocally. So while one color is this earthy, rich tone, the other colors that her vocals are producing are also very light and bright and blue and pink and bright greens as well. So I'm really impressed by how she does that on a consistent basis. But what was making me stand out vocally anyway was Marco. A couple of things, and I want to make sure I do this, and I do this correctly, because I've got it in my head a specific way. This was the one song I've heard, and there's probably others, but this is the first time I haven't heard Marco do his little thing. Marco has this really cool thing that he does with his vocals when he's singing these lyrics. Your brain is trained for expectation. You have your own predictive AI in your head. So when you're listening to certain songs or when you're listening to music, while you're absorbing what is happening, your brain is also leading you down a path of prediction. And Marco is so good about changing directions when you're expecting something else. So when you're expecting him to go in one direction, he'll go in another direction. I've always found that very unique about Marco. One of the very unique things about Marco. But what I really liked in this song, and maybe it was because he was harmonizing with Troy for a lot of that, and I'll get to him, is he maintained a very mainstream sound. And he didn't do that little trick. I didn't hear that little bug in his voice. It's not a bug. He's doing it on purpose, and I find it absolutely brilliant. And going to that, I do want to say this, especially, hearing that song and hearing all of Marco that I've heard from Northern Kings to Nightwish to his solo stuff, I really do hope, and I'm doing my best to spread the word, I hope Marco knows how generational his voice is to metal. I talk about it. I think one of the first couple of videos I saw of him, I made the comment, only that guy can get away with wearing purple velvet pants. And that is a fact. He is that metal. His voice is its own entity. It's its own being. It's its own character. And it is a monstrous vocal, and it is a perfect vocal for what he is doing. And he himself, and I say this about Floor, and I'll say it about Marco as well, Marco also is a genius at controlling that danger zone that a lot of vocalists, especially metal vocalists, fall into. That screechy, screamy, strainy section of your throat that you're not supposed to sing with, a lot of people do. Marco is a genius at controlling that airflow and that muscle control through his danger zone and through his instrument. And I really hope that people understand how generational Marco's vocals really are. But maybe he wasn't doing that little trick because he was harmonizing vocally with Troy. And Troy, again, with those pipes, dude, the Uillian pipes, the Irish bagpipe, if you will. I hope I said that correctly. Make sure I'm saying it down below politely. Here's the thing about those pipes, and I made a comment in The Greatest Show on Earth, that those pipes touch something in me. I'm talking like pick up the doll and show me on the doll where the pipes have touched you. It is that deep. It is that raw. That sound, that tone, that energy, the colors that are coming through those pipes, they cut through so much of me and get to the very core of who I am. And last time I joked about maybe it speaks to the sad, broken Irishman in me, and maybe that's what it is, but it's not sad, because the joke I wrote is, with those pipes, with the Uillian pipes that Troy was playing, there's only happy or sad. There's no in between on those pipes. You are either face down on a bar wallowing in your sorrow, or you are up dancing and kicking up your heels. I don't think there's ever a just sit and listen to those pipes. And the texture that is created in this song, again, this is probably, and I wrote down, this is the most digestible song I've heard. And maybe it's the album, because is this the album with Bye Bye Beautiful? Because that's the other song I wrote down as being a really good, a great mainstream track. This is a great mainstream track. Again, if I'm looking to introduce audiences to Nightwish, this is going to be there. This is going to be in there without a doubt. It's got a really great mainstream sound, while it also has the subtleties and intricacies of that classic foundational metal that normally you would think would scare people. Kai doing that double bass roll through the entire song at the right time. Again, this band is so perfect with their proper measurements and balances in their songs that nothing is ever really out of place. And speaking of out of place, what really surprised me about this track is how, not in the background, that's not what I'm going to say. Well, it's not what I mean. This may be like the one time Tuomas was just kind of not the least participating. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everybody else seemed to be doing their thing, and then you go, oh, dude, Tuomas is maintaining this really awesome symphonic vibe through the entire song, and you don't even notice it until the end. And I think that speaks a lot to his intelligence, his mercurial disposition in general, his humility, his humbleness, his gratitude, his appreciation. I think a lot of times I catch him just kind of standing back and watching others perform his music, and I think he gets blown away by that. I think Tuomas is such a what's the word I'm looking for? Not tortured. That's not what I'm trying to say. He's such a introvert in a way that he kind of would rather be in the audience watching himself, if that makes any sense. And this is a track that really displays that, because again, you get through 5 minutes and you go, oh, dude, the entire time Kai and Tuomas have been laying down this absolutely incredible foundation of symphonic metal underneath what I guess you could technically call it a pop rock song. We call it active rock, but it's an active rock track without a doubt. But it also creates these very unique tones that are very specific to Tuomas and his compositions. So well done for doing that. Oh yeah, Sneaky Pete, bro. Very well done. Last but not least, I got to talk about my guy. I got to talk about Emppu. I talk about this guy and his ability to create the perfect tones at the perfect times for the perfect songs, and he just seems to really enjoy what he's doing in his creations. And I think that out of all of the members of the band, he may be the talisman of joy. I think Emppu just exudes this not happy-go-lucky, but really eating life. I talk about this about my 14-year-old, and he has always been this way. I tell people he is a vampire of affection, that you can't help it. I've never met anyone who didn't become friends with my son. He just has that personality. He just has that joy, that zest for life. Anything he's doing, he's having a good time. And I joke and tell people he could have a good time at an insurance seminar. And Emppu strikes me that way. He just strikes me as the kind of guy that really understands the gift that he's been given and the opportunities that he's been given, and he's going to enjoy every single second of it. What I wrote down, what I wrote down was Puck. That's what, I mentioned Shakespeare earlier, Shakespearean meter and having to write in meter. So it's, I guess, ironic I'm even using this analogy for Emppu. But he reminds me of Puck, the sprite from, I believe it's A Midsummer Night. I believe. Yeah, from Midsummer's Night. Correct me down below. Not Midsummer Murders, that's my favorite detective show. But Midsummer's Night, Puck, the very mischievous sprite going around and having fun, causing trouble. And I had a cat that I named Puck because he was that type of cat that just would jump out and just go have fun, just enjoy. I've never met a cat who enjoyed being a cat more than my cat Puck. And that's what I see in Emppu. I see someone who just pours forth the happiness and joy that he himself is feeling within the composition that he's being asked to participate and create his own tone. So when you're hearing him create that specific tone for whatever it is needed, he's doing it with such a a remarkably brilliant energy that you can't help but to get that added in. We call it added value, but it's just icing on that cake, isn't it? And Emppu is just so good at that. I really hope that people understand how absolutely brilliant that guy is as a guitar player. He can go from David Gilmour to Robin Trower to, James Hetfield to whoever. Eric Clapton. I bet if that guy needed to lay down a blues riff, he could do it. I bet he could play country on an acoustic if he had to, just because he loves doing it. So I really love to watch a band like this perform in that way, where every member of the band is having such a great time that you kind of get lost in that energy. So I really find that to be absolutely fascinating about this band, and watching the crowd react to them was just awesome as well. So again, thank you very much for that suggestion. That was I Want My Tears Back Live, Buenos Aires, Argentina from 2019 off the Imaginarium album, and I believe that was 2011. I'm trying to remember everything, and you guys have been so awesome with helping me out. So thank you very much for that suggestion. And again, if you have a suggestion, make sure you are following me on all the social media platforms and you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. That way you can hit me up with a DM for a suggestion or leave it in the comments below, but you know the drill. Read through, like it, I concur, blah, blah, blah. Thank you to Aspen Dental, Connect 200, Music to See, and Gothic Jewelry. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Without you, I wouldn't get my, the attention I need to get me through the day. So thank you very much for that, and keep those suggestions coming. I appreciate all the help. Make sure you're looking out for each other. Make sure you're looking out for your neighbor. Try to do at least one good thing a day. I am Eric Clark, and this has been The Wild Side.